Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Woohoon. God Level Selection for Instant Upgrades. Chapter 1. God Level Selection System. Ah, my head hurts. Where is this? With a weak voice, Qi-Ling woke up from the bed. He looked at the completely unfamiliar environment in front of him and carefully recalled what happened before. He felt that he was completely confused at this moment. He remembered that he seemed to be performing some special mission, and was surrounded by the enemy. In the end, he used a bomb to kill them together. How could he appear here? You're awake, how do you feel? Just when Qi-Ling was confused, a man came over from outside the house and asked Qi-Ling. He has a short beard and looks about 40 or 50 years old. He has a special temperament of laziness and decadence. Although the whole person is a bit slovenly, it is not difficult to tell that he is a handsome man. Who are you? Why am I here? Qi-Ling said cautiously. Don't be nervous, I picked you up from the forest outside 3 days ago, the man said. My name is Yu Xiaogang. Others call me Master. You can also call me that. Master. Qi-Ling raised his eyebrows, but did not let down his guard because the other party saved him. Thank you very much. I will definitely repay you if I have the opportunity in the future. With that said, Qi-Ling wanted to get out of bed and leave here, but unexpectedly fell to the ground. Are you okay? Be careful and don't be anxious. Yu Xiaogang stepped forward to help Qi-Ling and put him on the bed. Your body hasn't recovered yet. You need to practice more. I happen to have some healing medicine here. I'll give it to you first. Qi-Ling almost didn't hear Yu Xiaogang's words because he looked at his body and fell into deep thought. Whose are these little arms and legs? Whose is this thin body? Where are my thick arms that can run a horse? What about those proud 8-pack abs? Then Qi-Ling turned his head and saw himself in the mirror on the wall. I saw a little boy with black hair and black eyes sitting there, with a blank expression on his face, and a look of disbelief on his delicate face. I don't know how a 6-year-old child like you survived after being so seriously injured. Yu Xiaogang's fading voice gradually confirmed Qi-Ling's suspicion that he had actually become a 6-year-old child. What's going on? What's wrong with me? Moreover, this world seems to be different from what I know. Qi-Ling frowned and thought. Besides, Yu Xiaogang. Why do I always feel that this name is so familiar? By the way, Yu Xiaogang, isn't this the name of Tang San's teacher in Duluo continent? Qi-Ling suddenly realized, I see, it seems that I have traveled to Duluo world. Although he has a special job, Qi-Ling is actually also an avid lover of novels and animation. This is his only leisure after work. Knowing that he had actually come to the world in the novel, Qi-Ling became excited. After all, this was one of his dreams. After a while of groping, Qi-Ling was able to master the movements of this body. He slowly walked out of the house and saw a completely unfamiliar world in front of him. Where is this place? Qi-Ling asked in confusion. Oh, can you walk on the ground now? Yu Xiaogang came over at this time. Looking at you, could it be that you suffered a blow to the head and lost your memory? Qi-Ling nodded. This was the most convenient explanation at present. It was just the right time to ask Yu Xiaogang where this place was. Under Yu Xiaogang's introduction, Qi-Ling quickly learned that this was a junior college, not in college, used to train soul masters. And Yu Xiaogang can be regarded as a special teacher here. He does not teach, but has a special status. Martial spirit, it seems that this place does not belong to my original world. Qi-Ling frowned. I really didn't expect that such a ridiculous thing like time travel would actually happen to me. I wonder if I will be matched with some weird system again. Ding dong. The host's vital signs are stable, and the God level selection system has been activated. Please select the host from the following options. After the selection is completed, the system will continue to run. Option 1. Refuse to live in this world and travel again. Reward. Time travel once. Option 2. Live in the world of Duluo continent with a new identity. Reward. Innate talent full of soul power. A strange sound came from Qi-Ling's brain, making him raise his eyebrows. Have you opened your mouth before? Come on, whatever you say. HMPH, I'm not afraid of death, so why would I be afraid of a mere world like yours? Qi-Ling thought to himself as he looked at the two options given to him by the system. I'm just here to see what kind of world this is. Just treat it as a holiday for yourself. Ding dong. The host has chosen option 2 and received the reward, the innate soul power talent. Close black lens bracket. Suddenly, Qi Ling felt a strange power suddenly fill his body. This power is so amazing and powerful that Qi Ling even feels that his physical fitness is about to reach its peak at this time. Soul power is such a magical power. Qi Ling is feeling this magical power. His current state should be equal to the soul power of a level 10 soul warrior, but he has not yet awakened his martial soul. Interesting, I'm starting to be interested in this world. Qi Ling said with a smile, I wonder what my martial spirit will be. Oh, you want to awaken your martial spirit? Yu Xiaogang couldn't help but be surprised when he heard Qi Ling's request. You have such strong soul power fluctuations, but you haven't awakened your martial soul yet. Although Yu Xiaogang himself has flaws in his innate martial soul and will never be able to break through level 30 in soul power, his experience in this life cannot be compared to anyone else. So he could tell at a glance that Qi Ling's soul power was surging, even more powerful than most soul masters who had obtained soul rings. This is undoubtedly a sign of innate soul power, and having such a powerful soul power fluctuation but not awakening the martial soul yet further proves that Qi Ling is extremely talented. Yu Xiaogang began to wonder what kind of peerless genius he had picked up. Qi Ling didn't have a better explanation for this. He couldn't say that his soul power was given by the system, so he could only explain it vaguely. Fortunately, Yu Xiaogang was not someone who liked to get to the bottom of things. I see. In that case, you can go to the spirit hall in Nodding City to awaken your spirit there. Yu Xiaogang said and took out a waist tag from his body. Take this and go forward, they will let you test it. Yu Xiaogang certainly didn't lie. Qi Ling took his belt and came to the Wuhun Hall in Nodding City, and got their high attention. After the guard at the door saw the badge, he rushed in to report with a little panic, and even almost fell down. Not long after, an old man in red and two young men, a man and a woman, received him. The old man in red took the token from Qi Ling's hand and seemed to be confirming its authenticity. After checking it, he immediately showed an enthusiastic expression to Qi Ling. It turns out that he was recommended by the master. He must have amazing talent. Cici, please take him to awaken his martial soul, the old man in red said. Then, the woman named Cici brought Qi Ling to a room. In the center of the room, there was a table with a black base holding a transparent gemstone, which looked extremely valuable. This is the jade specially used by the Wuhun Palace to awaken the Wuhun. You only need to put your hand on this jade, and then let the soul master responsible for the awakening operate it, and the Wuhun can be awakened smoothly. Kid, don't be nervous, come on, put your hand on this awakening stone, sister will guide you to complete the awakening. Cici said to Qi Ling in a gentle manner. She had a good impression of this handsome young man with an extraordinary appearance. But it's a pity that Qi Ling is not a shy little boy, but a straight man who has no friends. He looked at Cici's nagging look and said directly, Auntie, can you hurry up? I'm in a hurry. Auntie. Cici suspected that she heard wrongly. With her beauty, she would actually be called Auntie. Children, my sister is not an aunt, my sister is. Cici still wanted to explain, but Qi Ling had already put her hands on the awakening time and ignored Cici. Damn, you nasty little devil. While mentally complaining, Cici guided her soul power and began to awaken Qi Ling's martial soul. After all, his teacher is here, watching from the sidelines. No matter how dissatisfied he is, he has to continue working. But the next second, Cici's little dissatisfaction immediately disappeared without a trace, replaced by incomparable shock and fear. I saw that the originally transparent and flawless awakening stone actually bloomed with an extremely dazzling blood-red light. At the same time, the entire gem was gradually rendered into a red gem, as if ink had been dropped into the water. At the same time, a bloody evil aura rose into the sky, and an extremely ferocious demonic shadow seemed to appear in the midair. There are two pairs of thick horns on the extremely ugly head. Behind the muscular body, two pairs of huge black bat wings are slightly opened, as if the devil from hell has descended into the world. Although it was just a phantom, the terrifying aura it exuded so frightened the three people present that they dared not move. The old man in red trembled and said to himself, Truly, in the name of God, is this what is? The only sober person at the scene was probably Qi Ling. He frowned slightly and said to the old man, Hey, do you still have this kind of awakening stone here? Ah, yes, yes, the old man in red said subconsciously. If there is any, then give it to me to use. I feel like there is something else in my body. Qi Ling said. The old man in red was stunned. Qi Ling said that there was something in his body that had not come out. Could it be that there was another martial spirit in his body? Could he also be such a terrifying demon? Without time to think about it, the old man in red immediately said to the man, Su Yuntao, hurry up, go and get the spare awakening stone here. Su Yuntao woke up from the surprise. Without any delay, he immediately came to Qi Ling with the spare awakening stone. Qi Ling stretched out his other hand and placed it on the awakening stone. The next moment, a majestic and world-defying aura emanated from the awakening stone. The entire awakening stone exudes dazzling golden light, giving people the feeling of being unable to help but want to worship. And in the sky above the awakening stone, a fully realized phantom of the divine dragon appeared. The winding body is hovering in midair, and you can't see how long it is at all. You can only feel the supreme majesty from the shocking dragon head that cannot be criticized or disobeyed. The dragon and the devil dyed the whole room into a half-gold and half-red world, seeming to be fighting against each other. Everyone in the room felt as if they were being sucked into a huge whirlpool and were in danger of being crushed to pieces at any time. This feeling lasted until Qi Ling took back his hand and the shadows of the demon and the dragon disappeared. The old man in red was panting heavily, as if he had just been fished out of the water. It made people feel as if he was going to die in the next second. Qi Ling looked at the few people, and he probably didn't have any extra energy to apply for the Soul Master certification for himself. Thank you for helping me awaken my martial spirit. For other matters, I'd better come visit you another day, Qi Ling said with regret. And just after Qi Ling left, the two awakening stones shattered into powder at the same time. Several people in the Wuhun Palace looked at each other in disbelief. Even the awakening stone couldn't withstand the power. It was like a dream. Quickly, report this child's matter to the headquarters of Wuhun Palace. This child is either a peerless genius or a peerless demon, the old man in red said with lingering fear. This world will definitely change because of him. After returning to Yu Xiaoging's place again, Qi Ling told him the situation when he awakened his martial spirit. When he heard that Qi Ling was actually a rare twin martial soul, Yu Xiaoging suddenly became interested. Twin martial spirits. They are actually rare twin martial spirits. And they are two equally powerful martial spirits. This is really rare, Yu Xiaoging said excitedly, looking at Qi Ling as if he were looking at a test object on the experimental table. Well, they are indeed two martial spirits, and they don't seem to be able to deal with each other very well. Qi Ling couldn't bear the master's enthusiasm. Master, do you know these two martial arts spirits? Show me your soul seal. Maybe I will recognize it, Yu Xiaoging said. Afterwards, Qi Ling displayed his two soul seals at the same time. A devilish demon and a divine dragon dominating the world appeared on Qi Ling's left and right hands respectively, but this time, there was no suffocating and terrifying momentum. And when he saw Qi Ling's two soul seals, Yu Xiaoging's eyes widened immediately, and he was so surprised that he couldn't speak, as if he was stunned, and whispered to himself, this impossible. This is. Master, is there something wrong with my martial spirit? Qi Ling asked. As if awakened by Qi Ling's question, the master rushed to his bookcase in a panic and pulled out an ancient parchment book. After searching for a while, Yu Xiaoging said with certainty, yes, there is absolutely nothing wrong, Qi Ling, the martial spirits you have are these. Qi Ling looked in the direction pointed by the master and saw that on the page of the book, there were 8 martial arts icons arranged on both sides, which seemed to be vaguely forming a confrontation. In the patterns on both sides, Qi Ling found his own martial soul. 8 demons and 8 gods, these are the legendary 16 martial souls, divided into 8 demon souls and 8 divine souls. Yu Xiaoging explained to Qi Ling while he was watching, these 8 martial souls, needless to say, the soul is powerful, there are few martial souls in the world that can compete with it. And your 2 martial spirits belong to one of the 8 demons and 8 gods, named Blood Demon Emperor and Divine Dragon Emperor. At this point, Yu Xiaoging paused for a moment, as if it was difficult to even express this conclusion. He was so energetic. Devil and God. Qi Ling was stunned. These two things sound like they are opposite to each other. How could they appear in my body at the same time? Yes, logically speaking, it is impossible for demons and gods with different powers to appear in the same person at the same time, let alone the Blood Demon Emperor, who is an extremely special existence even among the 8 demons and gods. And the Dragon Emperor. But in legends, the most special existence in the world will indeed appear. And when such a special existence appears, the world will change its original trajectory and move towards a completely different future. Yu Xiaogang looked at it. Qi Ling said. Qi Ling, you are a person who will change the world. After a moment of silence, Yu Xiaogang smiled again. Of course, this is just a legend that spreads out from somewhere, and only a nerd like me would read it. Maybe what exists in your body is just 2 powerful ordinary weapons. It's just a soul. By the way, Qi Ling, do you have any plans next? Do you have somewhere to go? Yu Xiaogang asked. After Qi Ling was briefly shocked, he said honestly to Yu Xiaogang, I have nowhere to go and no one I know. In this case, do you want to study here first? Yu Xiaogang said. You still have a lot to learn about Wuhun, and even if you don't understand anything, you can come to me. Ding dong. It is detected that the host is facing an invitation from Yu Xiaogang, triggering a god-level choice. Please choose from the options below. Close black lens bracket. Option 1. Stay at Notting College, accept the teachings of Yu Xiaogang, and receive the reward, 10 Core Theories of Wuhun Part 1. Option 2. Leave Notting College and study alone, get rewards, self-esteem +1, and 100 gold coins. Qi Ling didn't expect that this could trigger the selection task, and the reward was very tempting. You must know that the 10 core theories of Wuhun are Yu Xiaogang's lifelong gains. It is not an exaggeration to say that they are priceless treasures. After all, no matter how powerful your martial soul is, it will be in vain if you don't know how to use it. And more importantly, the Empire attaches great importance to soul masters. As long as you become a work-study student, you can temporarily solve your accommodation and food problems, so you have no reason not to choose option 1. Ding dong. The host has chosen option 1 and received the reward, 10 Core Theories of Martial Arts Part 1. Seeing Qi Ling's agreement, Yu Xiaogang looked extremely happy and said, in this case, tomorrow is the start date of school, so you can go to the college to report first. As for the place to live, I can only temporarily let you live with the work-study students. Quote. With Yu Xiaogang's recommendation, Qi Ling successfully passed the enrollment and became a work-study student at Notting College. Although Notting College is only a junior Soul Master college, Soul Master is the most noble profession in the continent, so the college has all kinds of facilities and the decoration is quite good. However, because the number of Soul Masters is very small and Notting City is relatively remote, there is only one dormitory building in Notting Junior Soul Master Academy. Students and teachers of each grade live in a large dormitory, 7 in total. The dormitory where the working study students live is called Keisha. It is the only dormitory with mixed age groups. Working study students of all ages live here, and Qi Ling is no exception. Holding his share of daily necessities, Qi Ling kicked away the people in the work-study dormitory, only to see a tall, fat man bullying several freshman-looking people. Hey, another one is here. The fat man looked very excited when he saw Qi Ling. He came over eagerly and said, Boy, I am Wang Sheng, my martial spirit is Zanhu, and the future fighting spirit master is also from here. Head. If you want to survive in the future, you have to listen to me, do you understand? Qi Ling looked at these little brats, shook his head helplessly and said, really, it seems that no matter which world we are in, school violence exists. I don't know where you little brats who haven't even wiped your saliva learned such bad habits. Wang Sheng felt confused after listening to Qi Ling's words. It seems that you are the youngest, right? Being taught such an old-fashioned lesson by a 6-year-old child gave Wang Sheng a strange sense of disparity. Don't talk about the yes or no, boy, did you hear what I just said to you? Wang Sheng said with a fierce look. If you don't want to suffer, just call me boss. Otherwise, I will let you know how powerful the tiger is. Ding dong. It has been detected that the host is facing the challenge of King Saint, and the God-level selection mission has been triggered. Please choose from the following options. Close black lens bracket. Option 1. The strong dragon does not suppress the local snake, swallows his anger, allows Wang Sheng to bully him, and gets the reward, the title of Iron Waist. Option 2. Go along with the crowd, please the king, and get the reward, the title of dog legger. Option 3. Use tough methods to teach Wang Sheng a lesson, establish his position in the 7 houses, and get the reward, unlimited storage space. Looking at the rewards of the first 2 options, Qiling broke into a cold sweat. Apart from anything else, if I really get these 2 titles, I might as well stop living and smoke myself to death with socks. As for the third option of unlimited storage space, this is an absolute good thing. It allows Qiling to carry a storage space with him and use it at any time. It can be said to be a must-have weapon for murder and arson at home. No reason to miss it. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for choosing option 3. Teach Wang Sheng a lesson and get the reward, unlimited storage space. Close black lens bracket. So Qiling gave Wang Sheng a cold look and ignored him. Instead, he chose the best bed and put his things on it. Alas, you brat, how dare you ignore me? Wang Sheng came over angrily and said. Also, this bed belongs to me. You can give me another bed. Your bed. Qiling smiled. It's a very nice bed, but from now on, this is my bed. Damn it, you brat, you're looking for death. Wang Sheng said, punching Qiling in the face. There were faint fluctuations of soul power on his body. It was obvious that he had used the power of his martial soul and wanted to give Qiling a lesson from the spirit. But Qiling didn't even look at Wang Sheng's fist. He just casually raised his right hand and caught his confident punch. Then Qiling exerted slight force with his right hand, and Wang Sheng was immediately hurt and begged for mercy. Ah, it hurts, it hurts. What are you doing? Let go. Wang Sheng was so hurt that he even cried. He felt that his hand must have been crushed by Qiling. Boy, listen up, I don't care what house games you are playing, but there is one thing, don't mess with me. Qiling said with a cold look in his eyes. Otherwise, I will make your death ugly. Seeing that Wang Sheng did not answer, Qiling added a little more force and said, do you understand? I understand. I understand. Wang Sheng hurriedly begged for mercy. From now on, you are the boss of Kashi. I will listen to you. When Qiling saw Wang Sheng's answer, he didn't care about the details. He let him go directly, put the bed away, and lay down on it. Wang Sheng was frightened by Qiling, but he was still a child after all, and he had the spirit of a newborn calf who is not afraid of tigers. Seeing Qiling lying down at this time, he leaned over and said, Boss, you are so powerful. Did you use a soul skill to hit me just now? I can't even use my martial soul to beat you, so why should I use my soul skills? Qiling said nonchalantly. You are too weak and your physical fitness is poor. If you exercise hard in the future, you may be able to be saved. Oh, okay, boss, I will definitely train hard in the future. Wang Sheng said happily. After all, it is human nature to chase the strong. Although Qiling punished Wang Sheng, he gained his respect. Actually, boss, I don't want to bully others, so I want to be the leader. Wang Sheng said again. It's just that we working study students are being bullied too much. It won't work if we don't unite. Hold together for warmth is something only goats do, Wang Sheng. Qiling looked at Wang Sheng, with an unspeakable meaning in his eyes. You are a tiger, aren't you? Qiling didn't know what impact his words today would have on Wang Sheng. After all, these were just his casual words. The impact on him now is that he now has a loyal follower. The next day, Master Yu Xiaogang called Qiling out early in the morning and came to his room. This time, the master's attitude was different from the previous gentleness, and was more serious and serious. Qiling, someone from Wuhun Palace is here. Yu Xiaogang said straight to the point, it's Father Philoma you met yesterday. When Qiling heard the news, he was stunned for a moment. Someone would come from Wuhun Palace, and he had already prepared for it. After all, judging from Yu Xiaogang's reaction yesterday, it was obvious that the martial spirit in him was by no means an ordinary person. As the most powerful organization in the mainland, it was impossible for the Spirit Hall not to win over him. However, they just awakened the martial soul for themselves yesterday, and today they have completed the countermeasures against them. This kind of mobility can be said to be quite terrifying now that technology is underdeveloped. It can be seen from this that Wuhun Palace is indeed not an ordinary organization. Qiling, you must have guessed the purpose of Wuhun Palace's visit. Yes, They are here just to recruit you. Yu Xiaogang said. The power of Wuhun Palace is beyond your imagination. If you join Wuhun Palace, you will definitely get their full support, which will be of great benefit to your growth. As for whether you want to join the Spirit Hall, I'll wait until you meet Father Philoma before making a decision. Father Philoma is the old man in red that Qi Ling met yesterday, and he is also the top person in charge of the Wuhun Temple in Notting City. This time he paid a personal visit, which shows how much he values Qi Ling. After seeing Qi Ling coming, Philoma's face immediately showed joy and said, "Hello, little Qi Ling, I am Father Philoma. I just met you yesterday. Do you still remember me?" Qi Ling sat down helplessly. The way the other party spoke to a child made him feel awkward. "Remember, if you have anything to say, just tell me, Father Philoma." Father Philoma was suddenly speechless. Although he had felt Qi Ling's temper yesterday, he was really unbearable by speaking so straightforwardly. "Well, in that case, I won't say any more nonsense." Father Philoma collected his thoughts and said, "Qi Ling, yesterday I reported your matter back to the main hall of Wuhun Hall. The elders attach great importance to you. Now they asked me to ask you, are you willing to join our Wuhun Hall?" Qi Ling, who had been prepared for this for a long time, said calmly, "Oh. Joining the Spirit Hall, what benefits will it bring to me?" "Joining the Spirit Hall will naturally bring many benefits." Philoma seemed confident in the Spirit Hall's invitation. "Not only can you get the full support of Wuhun Palace, but you can also get the qualification to meet the Pope. You know, this is a supreme honor. And you can also get the best education, and even the best soul rings, and the best resources." Father Philoma continued, "In short, this is definitely an opportunity that you can't miss." Seeing Father Philoma's impassioned speech, Qi Ling just nodded lightly and said, "I understand, Father Philoma, please give me a minute to think about it." Philoma was suddenly speechless again, but he believed that no one could refuse the invitation from Wuhun Palace. It was an opportunity that no one could ask for. So he walked out of the house and said, "Okay, Master Yu Xiaogang and I happen to have something to say. Qi Ling, I'll come and listen to your answer later." After Philoma walked out, Qi Ling immediately opened his system. The reason why he wanted to send Philoma away was because he had just received a message from the system. Ding dong. It is detected that the host is facing an invitation from Wuhun Palace. Please choose from the following options. Close black lens bracket. Option 1. Join the Wuhun Palace and get rewards. The right to use the resources of the Wuhun Palace, a soul bone, and the soul power level will increase by 3 levels. Option 2. Reject the Wuhun Palace and get the reward. Master Yu Xiaozhang sensitivity plus 10%, Xuantian Kung practice method. There is no doubt that the reward of option 1 is too rich to refuse. This soul bone alone is already the lifelong pursuit of many soul masters. Not to mention being able to get the full support of Wuhun Palace, he will undoubtedly be able to reach the sky in one step. But do you think that this way I, Qi Ling, will obey? Haha, so naive. What I, Qi Ling, like to do most is to surprise these people who think they are sure. System, I choose option 2. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for choosing option 2, refusing to join the Spirit Hall, and receiving the reward. Master Yu Xiaozhang sensitivity plus 10%, Xuantian Kung practice method. In fact, the reason why Qi Ling made this choice was certainly not to embarrass Father Philoma. After all, no one would be in trouble with the ready-made god-level rewards. Qi Ling rejected the Wuhun Palace just because if he joined the Wuhun Palace, he would have to take orders from others and would be branded as a Wuhun Palace from then on. And I have sold my life to others all my life. I only want freedom and happiness in this life, and I will never be willing to be anyone's puppet. And there is another point, that is the Xuantian technique in option 2, which is also an extremely exciting reward. As a skill practiced by Tang San, the value of Xuantian Gong is definitely no less than a piece of soul bone. After all, soul bones are precious, but there are many opportunities to obtain them in the future, but if you miss the opportunity to practice Xuantian Kung, you don't know if you can obtain them in the future. Tang San would not just teach others his own skills. So, when Father Philoma and Yu Xiaogang walked in together and waited expectantly for Qi Ling's reply, Qi Ling smiled slightly and said, "I'm sorry, Father Philoma, I am already a student of Notting College, so I can't follow you to Wuhun Palace." Not only Father Philoma, but also Yu Xiaogang was extremely surprised by Qi Ling's decision. After all, that was an invitation from Wuhun Palace. For a soul master, this was the highest honor, and no one could refuse it. Qi Ling, you have to think carefully. Joining Wuhun Palace is not easy. If you miss this opportunity, you will probably regret it for the rest of your life. Yu Xiaogang said. Philoma on the side also agreed. Yes, little Qi Ling, even if you have joined Nodding Academy, I can report it to the main hall of Wuhun Hall and let the elders. Father Philoma, I think you have misunderstood me. Qi Ling said with a smile. I studied very well at Nodding College, and I have no plans to change schools. Qi Ling's statement was a quite straightforward rejection. Father Philoma wanted to say something more, but after seeing Qi Ling's eyes, he instantly realized that this was a man who would never change his will because of other people's words. No matter how much he said, it would be in vain. Oh, well, this is really a pity. Father Philoma said, in this case, I won't force it. I will report your matter to the main temple. Thank you, Father, for your love for me. Qi Ling said, if there is nothing else, I will leave first. Qi Ling didn't feel any regret after rejecting Wuhun Palace. Sooner or later, you will have what you should have, but if you lose some things, you can never get them back. Presumably this is something that people must consider clearly when making a choice. After coming out of Yu Xiaogang's room, Qi Ling went straight back to Kashi. Before he entered the door, he heard a noise inside, which seemed to be very lively. Today is the official registration day for Nodding College. There must be new work-study students here, so it is so lively. So Qi Ling walked inside and said, Wang Sheng, are you bullying the newcomers again? Didn't I tell you this? The appearance inside Kashi was different from what Qi Ling had imagined. Wang Sheng stood aside with a bruised nose and a swollen face, looking like he had suffered a great loss. But on the softest big bed, there was a cute girl with scorpion braids bouncing around, and there was a handsome boy beside her, shaking his head helplessly. Yeah, this bed is so soft. From now on, this will be my little sister Wu's bed. Do you hear me? The cute girl said while jumping, with a sweet smile on her pink face. With Qi Ling's arrival, everyone's eyes were drawn to him. Wang Sheng seemed to have finally found the person who made the decision for him. He rushed forward with tears in his eyes and said, Boss, you are back, you must make the decision for me, ah. Qi Ling kicked Wang Sheng away to prevent his snot from getting on him, and then said slowly, Speak slowly, if you dare to jump up again, I will kick you again. Wang Sheng covered his face and said, Yes. Boss, both of them are new here. They will occupy your bed as soon as they come. I will never obey. But in the end, it's like this. Qi Ling did not listen to Wang Sheng's words. This kid had a lot of evil in his stomach. Who knew whether what he said was true or false? Hey, don't talk nonsense, you fat guy. Xiao Wu said dissatisfiedly after hearing what Wang Sheng said. Obviously you said that if you want to enter this dormitory, you must be recognized as the boss, so we did it. You also said that this bed is only for the boss to sleep on. If I beat you, of course I will be the new boss. Quote. Qi Ling looked at Wang Sheng coldly. Wang Sheng shuddered and ran away without looking back. Boss, I'll buy you a soda. Just wait for me. Then, Qi Ling walked towards the pretty child next to Xiao Wu. Qi Ling has been paying attention to this young man since just now. He can feel that this young man has a special temperament. Hello, my name is Qi Ling. Qi Ling stretched out his hand and said, What's your name? The young man saw Qi Ling extending his hand to him. After hesitating for a moment, he also stretched out his hand to hold it. Hello, my name is Tang San. I'm sorry for hurting your men, but we really can't escape, so we will fight back. Ha ha ha, that guy is not my subordinate. Young man in front of him. Although he was not much older than himself, he had a temperament that had a special feeling that makes people want to make friends with him involuntarily. It's a great honor. I feel the same way. Tang San also laughed and said, I hope we can get along well in the future. Two talented young men who traveled from different worlds met for the first time. As for what awaits them in the future, only God knows. Hey, you to the boss here. Qi Ling smiled and said casually, Oh, really, if you are so powerful, you are now the boss here, and that bed belongs to you. It just so happens that I can't get used to sleeping on such a soft bed. No, my mother taught me that no merit will be rewarded, so I must beat you. Xiao Wu jumped off the bed and said eagerly, I am very powerful. Seeing that Xiao Wu was not easy to fool, Qi Ling had no choice but to say, there's really nothing I can do, okay, I'll just compete with you. As he spoke, Qi Ling picked up a stone and drew a circle on the ground. Did you see the circle under my feet? Qi Ling pointed to the circle with a radius of about 2 meters under his feet and said, as long as you can get me out of this circle, you win. Okay, you can't go back on your word. Xiao Wu looked at the circle on the ground and said happily, then you have to be careful and watch your moves. Xiao Wu said, bending her right leg and jumping up like a rabbit, and kicked Qi Ling with her right foot. Although the strength is not particularly strong, the speed is extremely fast. As early as when he saw Xiao Wu's rabbit-like mobility, Qi Ling was mentally prepared for Xiao Wu's explosive ability. Facing Xiao Wu's kick, he calmly blocked it with his hands and blocked her delicate little feet with his arms. He thought that Xiao Wu would just retreat like this, but what Qi Ling didn't expect was that Xiao Wu's body flexibility was so amazing. His body changed an incredible angle in the air, and his feet wrapped around Qi Ling's neck. Tang San on the side couldn't help but smile bitterly when he saw Xiao Wu's move. She had just used this move to subdue him, and as long as she threw Qi Ling out, the situation was settled. Xiao Wu was obviously very confident in her own moves. She fell down and used the weight of her upper body to throw Qi Ling away with her legs. But then she was surprised to find that Qi Ling was motionless under her attack. The wrestling skills that I was so proud of actually failed. Very good skills. It can be said that you have achieved the ultimate in controlling your body. Qi Ling and Xiao Wu maintained a stalemate and said very relaxedly. But it's a pity that you are too weak. Qi Ling kept his body's center of gravity moving back, and at the same time used a special force borrowing method to firmly fix himself on the ground. No matter how hard Xiao Wu tried, she couldn't throw Qi Ling out smoothly. Realizing that this move was useless, Xiao Wu immediately did a backflip and distanced herself from Qi Ling, followed by a dazzling fast attack. The biggest feature of Xiao Wu's attacks is that he will intersperse kicking skills from time to time, making it difficult for people to guard against. But for Qi Ling, she just needs to stay the same to cope with the changes. The most important thing is to keep her mentality stable. With Xiao Wu's physical strength, it won't take long for her to be too tired to fight anymore. Sure enough, it didn't take long for Xiao Wu to be out of breath from exhaustion. An all-round attack like hers is certainly powerful, but it also consumes a lot of physical strength, making it impossible to carry out a protracted battle. Damn it, Sister Xiao Wu will never admit defeat. Xiao Wu was unwilling to attack Qi Ling from the air again. But it seemed that she had exhausted too much energy. This time, since she was not clamped firmly, she fell backward from the air. Xiao Wu, who lost her balance, had no time to adjust her posture at this time. Behind her was the hard foot of the bed. If she bumped into it, the consequences would be disastrous. Be careful. Qi Ling didn't have time to think too much, and immediately stepped forward, hugged Xiao Wu, and helped her regain her balance and stand on the ground. Thank you, Xiao Wu said in shock. After all, what happened just now was something she didn't even expect. There is no way. It seems that God is on your side. Sometimes luck is also a kind of strength. Qi Ling said helplessly at this time. You won this competition, and from now on you will be Kashi's Xiao Wu sister. After hearing Qi Ling's words, everyone noticed that in order to save Xiao Wu just now, Qi Ling's feet had already taken half a step out of the circle. According to the rules he had set before, he had indeed lost to Xiao Wu. How can this count? You came out of the circle just to save me. This round doesn't count. Let's compete again, Xiao Wu said unwillingly. She really couldn't accept such a victory. Winning or losing is victory or defeat. No matter what accident happens, there is no possibility of a do-over. A win is a win, Qi Ling said. There is no chance of a do-over in life. Wang Sheng, have you bought your drinks yet? Qi Ling turned around and shouted. Wang Sheng had already returned with a pile of drinks. At this time, he immediately stepped forward and said, Come on. Boss, what are your orders? From now on, Xiao Wu will be the boss of Qi Shi. You have to tell her carefully about the responsibilities of the head of the house. Qi Ling said with a smile, I believe Xiao Wu is more suitable to be the boss than me. Although Xiao Wu still looked unwilling, after Wang Sheng's compliments, she immediately turned from anger to joy. I have to say that this kid's verbal skills are quite impressive. So, Xiao Wu, as the eldest sister among the work-study students, officially took up the job, and her lively personality quickly became loved by everyone. As for Qi Ling, he is happy to have some leisure time. After all, he really has no interest in these activities like playing house. A few days later, Yu Xiaogang suddenly called Qi Ling and Tang San to his room together. Tang San had already worshipped Yu Xiaogang as his teacher in the past few days, and he and Qi Ling accepted Yu Xiaogang's teachings. Tang San, Qi Ling, both of you are in a state of innate soul power. I have learned something about your situation in the past few days. In Master Yu Xiaogang's room, Yu Xiaogang said to Qi Ling and Tang San in front of him at the same time. You two, get ready. Tomorrow morning, I will take you to the soul hunting forest to choose the first soul ring that suits you. Master, what type of soul rings are suitable for our two martial souls? Qi Ling asked. Regarding such professional issues, the master is quite reliable. After all, he is the first person in the theory of martial arts. It's very simple. Tang San, your martial spirit is blue silver grass, which is a plant-based weapon martial spirit. Then your spirit ring only needs to consider 2 characteristics and 1 function. Yu Xiaogang stretched out 3 fingers and said, toxicity, toughness, and winding function. If you do this, your blue silver grass can become an excellent control-type martial spirit. It will greatly increase your combat power. Tang San and Qi Ling nodded silently. What Yu Xiaogang said was quite reasonable. This was indeed the most suitable development path for Tang San. What about me, Master? Qi Ling asked curiously, how should I develop my martial spirit? Ahem, Yu Xiaogang frowned and said, Qi Ling, your martial spirit is too special, and I can't make a conclusion for you. It's just that, based on your personality, I suggest you develop into an aggressive fighting spirit master. As for the soul ring that is suitable for you, I have been looking through ancient books in the past few days and only found a little bit of it. Yu Xiaogang took out a simple book and continued. Your 2 martial spirits, the Blood Demon Emperor and the Divine Dragon Emperor, are extremely powerful spirits, so they also have special requirements for the spirit rings. The Blood Demon Emperor's martial soul can only absorb the martial souls produced by dark attribute soul beasts when absorbing martial souls. Only in this way can you exert the power of your martial soul. Otherwise, if the attributes are inconsistent, it will make you the strength is greatly reduced. As for the Divine Dragon Emperor, the conditions are even more stringent, because the Divine Dragon is an extremely proud creature. Therefore, the soul rings you absorb must contain the blood of the Dragon clan, otherwise it will not be absorbed at all. After listening to Yu Xiaogang's analysis, Qi Ling's forehead wrinkled into the word, Chuan. I didn't expect that my 2 martial souls would be so troublesome. It's not easy to find a soul ring of the right age, but you actually have to absorb a specific soul ring, which is like looking for a needle in a haystack. Sure enough, being strong comes with a price. However, you two don't have to be too stressed. We are just going to try our luck tomorrow. It would be best if we can meet a suitable soul ring. Even if we don't, there is no need to be discouraged. Yu Xiaogang comforted the 2 of them. The soul ring is a top priority for a soul master. In order to find a suitable soul ring, some people can search for several years. Because this is something that will accompany you all your life, it is natural to be cautious. Okay, this is what I want to tell you today. You go back and prepare first. The soul hunting forest is a long way away, so it's impossible not to be fully prepared. Yu Xiaogang said, tomorrow morning, we will be at the gate of the college convergence. After returning to Kashi, Qi Ling lay on his bed, recalling the special nature of his martial spirit and feeling a little depressed. The soul hunting forests Yu Xiaogang mentioned were mostly hunting grounds used by the empire to raise soul beasts in captivity. It was impossible for there to be 2 high-level soul beasts, let alone soul beasts that met their own conditions. There is a high probability that my trip will be in vain. Ding dong. If the host is detected, it will go to the soul hunting forest. Please choose the host from the following options. Close black lens bracket. Option 1. Go to the soul hunting forest and hunt for soul rings with Tang San and Yu Xiaogang. Reward: a random soul weapon. Option 2. Refuse to go to the soul hunting forest and get a reward, a 500-year-old soul ring with uncertain attributes. Qi Ling looked at the options given by the system. Although option 2 could get a 500-year-old soul ring, its attributes were uncertain, so he would definitely not choose it. Because as Yu Xiaoging said, if the soul ring is not suitable, he would rather wait for the next opportunity. The right way is to rather lack it than to waste it. And this soul-guided weapon is very interesting. After all, it goes without saying how rare things like soul-guided weapons are. Even Yu Xiaoging only has 124 bridges on the bright moon night. System: I choose option 1. Qi Ling said. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for choosing option 1, going to the soul hunting forest, and has received a reward, a soul-guided weapon. The reward has been sent to the host's infinite space, please pay attention to check it. Close black lens bracket. After receiving the reward, Qi Ling opened his infinite space at will, wanting to see what kind of weapon the system had given him. However, the moment he saw the weapon, he opened his mouth in surprise and could not speak. Words come. In his infinite space, there is a big guy covered in pitch black and quite shocking in appearance. It can be said that every man dreams of owning such a thing. This is the true romance for men. Qi Ling now feels that the choice he made is really worth it. Even if I was given a 100,000-year soul ring, I would not change it, because in my infinite space, there is a majestic Bartley sniper rifle. At the same time, the properties of this Bartley sniper rifle were also displayed in front of Qi Ling. Soul Guidance Device. Bartley Sniper Rifle, Level 4. Attribute Description: a powerful sniper weapon that can fire powerful sniper bullets. It has the power to kill opponents below the Soul Saint level with one hit. This battery sniper rifle, as a soul guide, has obviously been improved. Its gun body is larger and its power is also more amazing, but it only has 2 bullets, and because of its special workmanship, it cannot be replenished at all. But this is enough. With this powerful weapon, Qi Ling is full of confidence for this trip to the soul hunting forest. Early the next morning, when Tang San and Yu Xiaoging were waiting for Qi Ling at the entrance of the academy, they were greeted by Qi Ling, who was as happy as a child, with a smile on his face that could not be hidden no matter what. What's wrong, brother Qi, have you encountered anything good? Tang San asked curiously. Haha, it's nothing, mistress, I'll show it to you when I get the chance. I guarantee it will scare you. Qi Ling said like a child showing off his beloved toy. Qi Ling, we have a long way to go to the soul hunting forest, and we will probably have to spend the night outside. Don't you need to take some luggage? Yu Xiaoging looked at Qi Ling's empty back and couldn't help but remind him. Don't worry, master, I'm fully prepared. As Qi Ling spoke, he suddenly took out a pile of luggage from his infinite space and piled it into a hill on the ground. Look, master, what I have prepared is enough to live outside for half a month. Looking at the small mountain of luggage in front of him, Yu Xiaoging opened his mouth in surprise. When did this kid have a soul guide for storage? Moreover, the soul guide he gave Tang San was just a small space, far less big than the space Qi Ling showed, not even half the size of his. Such a large storage soul guide is no longer a question of value, it is simply a priceless treasure. How many secrets does this kid Qi Ling have that he doesn't know? After getting ready to set off, the 3 of them walked together until noon the next day, when they arrived at the soul hunting forest. Facing the vastness and the endless towering trees, everyone will feel the insignificance of their own body. Even though the master has done ideological work, Qi Ling and Tang San were still deeply shocked. It's so big. There should be a lot of soul beasts in such a big forest. Qi Ling said. That's natural. This is the forest of soul beasts kept in captivity by the Empire. There are many kinds. Although there are few high-level soul beasts, it is enough as your first soul ring. Yu Xiaoging said. Let's go to the soul hunting forest first. The entrance to the soul hunting forest is heavily guarded by troops belonging to the Empire. After all, as the most important strategic resource, soul beasts are a top priority for a country, and only those with permission can enter. Stop. The soul hunting forest is an important part of the country. No entry is allowed without special permission. The sergeant on duty said meticulously to the 3 of them. There was no expression on Yu Xiaoging's face. He just calmly took out a warrant and handed it to the sergeant. The non-commissioned officer took the order, lowered his head and looked at it. His expression immediately changed, and he said respectfully, "It's you, Master. I've offended you so much, please forgive me." After receiving their orders, the three of them successfully entered the soul-hunting forest, preparing to find a suitable soul beast. However, the sharp-eyed Qi Ling saw the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex pattern on Yu Xiaoging's token and his lonely expression, but Yu Xiaoging didn't say anything and Qi Ling didn't ask any questions. As soon as they entered the soul-hunting forest, the three of them encountered many soul beasts, most of which looked weird and different from ordinary animals. Tang San was holding a blue dagger and looked very excited. After all, he had only seen these spirit beasts in books before, and now seeing living creatures, of course he would have a different feeling. However, these spirit beasts are relatively young, most of them are only more than 10 years old, and even those that are hundreds of years old are rare. Tang San defeated several spirit beasts, but none of them had a spirit ring suitable for him. As for Qi Ling, he didn't even look at these soul beasts, not only because their attributes were not in line with his own, but more importantly, your own martial soul is a divine dragon or a demon god. You have to find a soul ring that matches your identity, right? You can't give the dragon a toad soul ring, right? Exploring along the way, the three of them went deeper and deeper, and gradually reached the depths of the soul-hunting forest. More and more types of soul beasts appeared, and even many century-old soul beasts appeared. Tang San had already hunted several soul beasts including lone bamboo before, but he still couldn't find a completely satisfactory choice, so the few of them continued searching. This situation ended when several people smelled a sweet and fishy smell. Yu Xiaoging smelled the smell in the air and suddenly said excitedly, "Yes, this is the smell. Shaosan, this is the soul ring that is most suitable for you." "Really, teacher, what kind of spirit beast is this?" Tang San asked. Before Yu Xiaoging could answer, Qi Ling had already groped his chin and said, "Century-year-old soul beast, poisonous arrow demon, mandala snake." Well, the characteristics of this kind of soul beast are indeed the blue-silver grass that perfectly suits Shaosan. The master has really thought everything through. Qi Ling, who had obtained half of Yu Xiaoging's 10 core concepts of martial arts, could now be regarded as an outstanding scholar of martial arts. Even Yu Xiaoging was amazed by his insights. When Yu Xiaoging heard Qi Ling's words, he immediately felt like he had a rare confidant in his life. He said excitedly, "Yes, Qi Ling, you think so too, right? This choice is a judgment I made after consulting a lot of information and analyzing Tang San's martial spirit. Look, this mandala snake's body, skin, even its poison. As long as it involves martial arts, Yu Xiaoging will forget everything and be completely immersed in his own world. This is already his old problem." But at this moment, Qi Ling couldn't help pouring cold water on him and said, "Master, don't get excited now. Something is wrong with the current situation. You'd better take a look first." After hearing Qi Ling's words, Yu Xiaoging calmed down and looked in the direction of Qi Ling's eyes. In addition to the huge mandala snake, there was also a golden toad there. It was not big, but it gave people a very dangerous feeling. This is. Yu Xiaoging looked at the golden toad and didn't recognize it for a moment. The dragon-crying golden toad is a very rare spirit beast. It is generally small in size, but a very dangerous spirit beast. Qi Ling said at this time, looking at the size of this golden toad, it must be at least 500 years old, age. This dragon-crying golden toad is very small. Compared with the datura snake in front of it, it can't even fit between its teeth. But for some reason, the mandala snake had a look of panic on its face at this time, and its huge body was twisting anxiously, as if it wanted to escape at any moment. This mandala snake is so huge, it must be hunting this golden toad, right? Tang San said, "Teacher, why don't we catch them while they are fighting?" "Shaosan, there are two mistakes in what you just said." Yu Xiaoging stared at Longming Jinshan, with cold sweat streaming down his forehead. First, they are indeed in a predatory relationship, but it is the dragon-crying golden toad that is preying on the mandala snake. With the ability of the mandala snake, it is no match for the golden toad. How could that happen? Tang San was shocked. The toad was actually preying on the giant snake. This is simply unheard of. Second, Yu Xiaoging continued, what we have to do now is not to think about profit, but to seize the opportunity and escape for our lives as soon as possible. The dragon roaring golden toad is extremely aggressive and territorial. Once it detects our scent, it will definitely attack us, Yu Xiaoging said. Furthermore, the Longming golden toad is the best among soul beasts in terms of attack, defense, and speed. It has no obvious weaknesses at all. It is impossible for us to defeat it now. But these are not the point. The most terrifying thing about this spirit beast is its cry. Call, Tang San asked doubtfully, is there anything special about its cry? The cry of the dragon crying golden toad is exactly like a dragon's roar, and that's why it got its name. More importantly, when the dragon crying golden toad cries, all surrounding creatures will fall into a state of forced daze. It can be said to be a melee nemesis, Yu Xiaoging explained. So, Xiaosan, although it's a pity, you should give up this mandala snake soul ring, and we will look for other soul rings. After hearing Yu Xiaoging's explanation, Tang San also felt frustrated. After all, soul rings with suitable attributes are something that can be found but not sought. Who knows if you can find a suitable soul ring if you miss it this time. But one datura snake is enough for several people. Coupled with a more powerful dragon crying golden toad, the hunting difficulty is almost impossible. Tang San was also unwilling to put a few people into crisis because of himself. Haha, master, mistress, we don't have to leave here, Qi Ling suddenly said at this time. Since it is a melee nemesis, shouldn't it be enough if we kill it from a distance? Oh, Qi Ling, do you have a way to deal with the dragon roaring golden toad? Yu Xiaoging said in surprise, and Tang San also showed a hopeful look. Yes, come, let me show you a big treasure, Qi Ling said, taking out the Barrett sniper rifle from his infinite space. When the dark, domineering Bartley sniper rifle was placed in front of Yu Xiaoging and Tang San, both of them were shocked and speechless. Although they didn't recognize this thing, they could feel a powerful deterrent and a fatal sense of threat from it. There is no doubt that this is an incredibly lethal weapon. Qi Ling, what exactly is this thing? Yu Xiaoging asked. With this thing, can we destroy the dragon crying golden toad? Absolutely. It only takes one shot, and it's guaranteed to kill all the toads, Qi Ling said confidently. This thing is called the Bartley sniper rifle, and it is a special soul guide. The effective shooting distance of this soul guide sniper rifle is more than 4,000 meters, which is completely beyond the sensing range of the dragon roaring golden toad, Qi Ling said. The only problem now is how to make sure we can hit it. After all, I only have 2 bullets. Ding dong. It is detected that the host is about to use the soul guide, and the selection task has been triggered. Please choose from the following options. Close black lens bracket. Option 1. The host shoots himself. The shooting success rate is 50%, and the reward is a Bartley sniper rifle bullet. Option 2. Let Tang San shoot. The shooting success rate is 99%. Reward, God level pupil technique, fiery eyes, Tang San's favorability plus 5%. There are 2 options. If you choose one, you will have one more shooting opportunity, and the probability is still 50%. It is almost useless. As for Tang San, he had cultivated the pupil technique with the purple demon eye, and also mastered the technique of hundreds of hidden weapons. Even if it was his first operation, the success rate was far higher than his own. Moreover, this god-level pupil technique, fiery eyes and golden eyes, as soon as you look at the name, it is something extraordinary, so naturally you can't miss it. So Qi Ling chose option 2 without hesitation. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for choosing option 2. Tang San will do the shooting, and get the reward, God-level eye technique, fiery eyes and golden eyes, Tang San's favorability plus 5%. Xiao San, here you go, Qi Ling said, handing the Bartley sniper rifle into Tang San's hand. You come and fire this shot. Me. Tang San looked at the Bartley sniper rifle in his hand, and the heavy feel told him that it was not only sturdy in appearance, but also extremely powerful inside. But I have never used this thing. Well, there is a first time for everything. Xiao San, I believe in you, just go ahead and do it, Qi Ling said, and began to teach Tang San how to operate this sniper rifle. As a lifelong addict of hidden weapons, Tang San was naturally full of curiosity about this novel weapon and eager to try it out. So when he selected the spot to set up his gun, lay down and started taking aim, he immediately activated the power of the purple demon eyes to the maximum extent and locked the dragon roaring golden toad firmly. Longming Jinshin is very vigilant. If he takes action rashly, he will only alert the enemy. Qi Ling said from the side. And the only time it reveals its flaws is when it launches a chirping attack. Shaosan, that's also the best time for you to attack. More importantly, we must use the attack of the dragon roaring golden toad to subdue the Datura snake. Otherwise, if it is frightened and runs away, our operation may fail. It was extremely exhausting for Tang San to maintain the state of the purple demon eyes, but fortunately, the mandala snake and the dragon roaring golden toad quickly ended the confrontation. Seemingly unable to withstand the pressure, the Datura snake took the lead in launching an attack, shooting its body at the dragon crying golden toad like a sharp sword, adopting a desperate attack method to catch it off guard. But it is a pity that the reaction speed of the dragon roaring golden toad is even faster than that of the mandala snake. Just when the body of the mandala snake jumped into the air, the Longming golden toad exerted force on its legs and disappeared from the place in an instant. And when the Longming golden toad appeared again, there was actually a green snake blood in its mouth. A wound appeared on the mandala snake's body at some point. The invulnerable Datura snake can't even withstand a bite from the dragon crying golden toad. Observing all this, Tang San couldn't help but swallow his saliva. He actually wanted to hunt such a monster. He was really overestimating his capabilities. Attention, mistress, Qi Ling said at this time, the dragon crying golden toad is about to speak. Be prepared. The mandala snake, aware of the disparity in strength between the two sides, naturally refused to sit still and wait for death, and immediately ran away into the distance. But it is a pity that Longming Jinshin has already prepared for this. Before the Datura snake could rush out far, the dragon roaring golden toad had already opened its mouth, and then a melodious dragon roar came from its mouth. It's hard to tell what a bizarre scene this is. A toad actually makes a dragon roar from its mouth. But that was the fact. The mandala snake seemed to have suddenly stopped, falling from midair and falling into a state of dizziness. Now, Shaosan, Qi Ling said to Tang San, shoot. Tang San, who was always prepared, had already pressed the trigger of Bartlett's sniper rifle at the moment Qi Ling gave the order, and the bullet shot at the dragon roaring golden toad at a speed that almost broke the speed of sound. The chirping dragon crying golden toad never thought that he would become someone else's prey and be hit directly on his head. And half of its originally small body was lost, leaving only its lower body still struggling. It's done, haha, Qi Ling said excitedly. Come on, Shaosan, let's collect your soul ring quickly. Don't let that mandala snake wake up and let it escape again. Qi Ling took the lead and rushed over. After confirming that the mandala snake was still in a daze, he couldn't help but sigh, what a powerful ability. It can actually make spirit beasts with similar soul powers stunned for such a long time. Time is really scary. Shaosan, hurry up, start from the snake's mouth and kill it. Qi Ling said, be careful not to be bitten by its teeth, I don't know how to detoxify. Following Qi Ling's instructions, Tang San used his dagger to kill the mandala snake from its soft inside, and then a yellow century-old spirit ring floated up. Yu Shaoging, who came a step late, looked at the dragon and golden toad and began to think deeply. The Longming golden toad, which had lost its head, did not completely die at this time. It relied on the instinct of the body to gasp for breath, showing its strong vitality. Master, what are you thinking about? Qi Ling said with a smile, how are you? Are you frightened by the power of the Barrett sniper rifle? God's will, this is really God's will. Qi Ling, you have your first soul ring. Yu Shaoging said suddenly. The first soul ring, mine. Qi Ling was stunned, and then looked at the dragon roaring golden toad on the ground. Master, you're talking about this toad, right? It's the golden toad. Yu Shaoging corrected. The dragon crying golden toad itself contains a trace of dragon blood, which just meets the requirements of your martial spirit. Moreover, no matter the age or the skills it possesses, it can be said that it is tailor-made for you. It is simply a match made in heaven. But, Master, Qi Ling was speechless for a while. Even if it had dragon blood, in the end it was still a toad. Could it be that his passive skill, Crow's Mouth, has been activated again, and do he really want to equip the divine dragon spirit with a toad spirit ring? Hurry up, Qi Ling, if it dies by itself, this soul ring will belong to Shaosan. Yu Shaoging said. This. Qi Ling felt speechless for a while, but this dragon-crying golden toad, excluding its racial factors, was indeed his perfect choice in all aspects. Helpless, under the master's eager attention, Qi Ling had no choice but to raise the knife and cut off the dragon's last breath. At the same time, a golden century-old soul ring appeared in the air. Looking at the golden soul ring in front of him, Yu Xiaoging frowned slightly and said, "The color of this soul ring." Qi Ling, the age of this soul ring has exceeded 500 years, and is even close to 600 years. It is enough as a second soul ring, but it is a bit excessive as a first soul ring. It's okay, Master, my martial spirit is very special and can withstand a spirit ring of this age. Qi Ling said confidently. What's more, since you want to absorb a toad's soul ring, it must be in the most satisfactory state. Yu Xiaoging, who couldn't resist Qi Ling, and considering the special nature of his martial soul, had no choice but to agree to him absorbing this soul ring that was beyond the age limit. So Qi Ling and Tang San stood in front of their respective soul rings, stretched out their hands, and touched the soul rings in the air. Soon, the soul ring touched by Qi Ling gradually condensed onto the martial soul in his right hand, and then he felt a special power pouring into his body. But the strange thing is that Qi Ling did not suffer huge pain because he absorbed more soul rings than Yu Xiaoging said. He felt as if the soul ring was like running water, it was completely absorbed by him very naturally, and he even felt a little comfortable. It was as if he was not absorbing this soul ring, but this soul ring was yearning for him. To be more precise, it was yearning for his martial spirit, and even felt impatient. The reason for this is that although the dragon-crying golden toad has a trace of dragon blood, it cannot match the respect of the divine dragon. It's like the lower-class nobles finally have the opportunity to become royalty, how can they not crave for it? It didn't take long for Qi Ling to finish absorbing his first soul ring. He opened his eyes and after standing up from the ground, he felt that his physical condition was better than ever and his strength had doubled. Master, I have finished absorbing the soul ring, where is the mistress? Qi Ling said to Yu Xiaoging. Qi Ling, you actually absorbed the soul ring so quickly. The gods and demons' martial souls are indeed unique. Yu Xiaoging said, but his brows furrowed even more tightly. Xiao San's situation is not optimistic. I don't know why, but he has been unable to absorb that soul ring. When Qi Ling heard this, he immediately looked at Tang San who was standing aside. He saw that Tang San looked like he had been fished out of the water. He was covered in sweat and had a very painful look on his face, as if he was fighting something. Things are like fighting. In his hand, there was a golden soul ring floating on the blue-silver grass martial soul mark. It appeared and disappeared, but it could not be absorbed smoothly. This was also the reason why he was in so much pain. After a little analysis, Qi Ling immediately understood the reason why Tang San couldn't absorb the spirit ring smoothly. This is because when the Datura snake died, although it was in a dazed state, it was in a complete state without receiving any damage. If you die like this, you will naturally die with your eyes closed, so there will be such a strong rejection reaction. But if it continues like this and Tang San is still unable to absorb the spirit ring, it is likely to have extremely serious consequences. In the worst case, it may even lead to confusion of spirit power and eventual death. Ding dong. It is detected that Tang San is facing a dilemma. Please host choose from the following options. Close black lens bracket. Option 1. Use Xuantian Gong to rescue Tang San and get rewards. Xuantian Gong Realm +2, Tang San's favorability +20%. Option 2. Let it go. Tang San's success rate of absorbing the spirit ring is 30%, and he will get a reward. Tang San's favorability will be -20%, and he will lose his Xuantian Gong training progress. There is no doubt that Qi Ling will naturally choose option 1. It can not only increase the realm of Xuantian Gong, but also gain Tang San's favorability. Why not? As a soul master's own power, there is no way to transfer soul power to each other, but the Tang sect's secret skill, Xuantian Gong, is different. Because in the final analysis, this is an inner strength and mental method. As long as they are of the same sect and origin, they can be transmitted to each other. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for choosing option 1. Rescuing Tang San, and has received the reward, Tang San's favorability +20%, and the level of Xuantian Gong has been raised by 2 levels. The host's Xuantian Gong realm is currently at the 3rd level. Close black lens bracket. Even Tang San's Xuantian Kung Fu was only at the first level at this time, while Qiling's Xuantian Kung Fu was already far higher than him. It can be said that it is easy to rescue Tang San. After putting his hands on Tang San's shoulders, a burst of powerful Xuantian Kung was transmitted into Tang San's body through Qiling, causing Tang San's brows to relax immediately and the fluctuations in his soul power to stabilize. Tang San, who was fighting against the Mandala Snake's soul ring, felt a warm and reassuring force slowly flow through his body, which gave him a familiar feeling, like his master. Same as being around. And with the help of this power, Tang San quickly suppressed the Mandala Snake's spirit ring, erased the unwilling resentment when it died, and took the spirit ring's power into his own use. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.